Later on, once we start this communication a bit, and this is the first episode for Geekonix stuff, and I really hope that you guys keep on participating in such episodes later on also, so that we can also open up to you, and you can also share your ideas, and we can work together and maybe do something great in future. Okay, so will you start?
Thank you, Shri. Thank you for the introduction. So basically, guys, she said that we are your ancestors or your past, but we are also your future. So what you are seeing, you are on this side of the bench, but you will be like us in a few years' time. Okay. So it is it's kind of a time transition for you to get to know what we are doing, what is the future is going to for you guys, what the future will be, and means how you can make it much better than us. We had struggled something, we had made mistakes. So we want to share those mistakes, we want to communicate, build a channel with you so that you guys will have a better launching pattern. And all this while we had a kind of a communication with you, but only like a chanda type during age. So every year during age, somebody should say, hey, chanda do, chanda do, chanda do. So somebody will make some donation and then we'll go and that's all. So we thought that like this is not really what an avenue should be, right? We should have much more meaningful communications and we should share our experiences. We want things to improve in the college for us as well. Okay. So today we have a very small, actually short presentation because we are not sure how many of you will turn up. But it seems it has really exceeded our expectation. Like there are a lot of people here. So before I start, I'd like to know a bit of composition of the class. Okay. We are not your faculty, so you can just interrupt anytime. So how many first years? Raise your hand. Oh, only one guy. Marking is good. Good. How many second years? Oh, good, good. Sorry, so multiple idea. Third year guys? Okay. And fourth years? Okay, someone fourth year. What about campusing this year? How many of you are done? All fourth year guys?
Oh, okay.
Not all.
And I just wanted to ask before I start, like I wanted to get some data from Shubham, but unfortunately you were not able to give me. What about the campusing trend that is happening? So like if you take TCS as a indicator because it's the largest IT company, so do you think it is growing for the last few years or it is slowing down? What do you see as a trend? Because I don't have that data with me.
Basically the trend is still the same. The college gives a lot of concentration on TCS. People get placed in TCS and then they are not allowed in most of the countries, only a few. And the whole story about placement starts with TCS and has ended with TCS.
What is the take right now?
It is around 70%. Last year it was 90%. This year it has gone up drastically to 70%. They have made the process a bit more strict, like taking 3 interviews of students, taking 40 minutes, 30 minutes, these kind of. So the strength is already for like CSE has been around 75. As compared to
that is basically decreased for the past few years. They have opened up for other streams too, like civil and mechanical, but they have decreased their placements in CS, IT and EC, the main branches they use to concentrate for the last year.
So this is actually what we have been observing as well and what has been reported in the media that the hiring trend is slowly going down, right? But what do you think about the number of students? Is that decreasing, that trend? Is it decreasing in engineering? So what do you think is going to happen? Like if on one side you are having so much more supply and the demand part is not increasing at that rate. So what do you think as you will be finding difficult to get jobs, right? And see what I tell you, like in our time it was like free for all type of placement. So people were nowadays you guys sit for campusing in third year or fourth year? Fourth year. How things are slowly changing. So we used to sit in the third year itself. On the sixth semester, we were placed in the sixth semester. And at that time it was free for all. People used to get a job just by writing a small program to add 2 numbers. Okay. And I had my friend, okay, he was actually not very interested in coding and a lot of you will not be also because at this time you are entering, they will take some skills, they will ask you this, but when he went to join, I was in Wipro at the start, so we joined and he said that I don't want to do testing, I don't want to development, I enjoy testing, give me development, give me testing. Okay. So the manager said, and managers, they will try to manipulate you to do their work anyhow. So they said, how do you know you don't like development? He said, I am the person, I am telling you I don't like development, and then what are you doing here? He told me, what are you doing here? He said, boss, when you interviewed me, you said write a program, add two numbers. Now I am here. Now the current thing is too complex, I don't want you to give me testing. So somehow it did not work out, he went and left, he's in now business development in another company. But he went to his, this college basically. So, do you ever wonder like what we do there? Do you have any knowledge like what other type of work we do?
Copy.
Huh? Copy paste. Yes, absolutely correct. So most of the time we do copy pasting, but still this copy pasting falls under development work. So that is also minority. You know what is the major work that all these IT companies they do? What? Louder?
Outsourcing.
No, outsourcing is definitely that I even say what type of work they do. Like development is one. Project. So basically, more than I don't have the hard data right now, but what I have experienced and seen, like majority of the projects in these IT companies are maintenance. Okay, maintenance and support and testing. Okay, so support and testing is a very big part of IT. Okay, so and that is the most dangerous part now. That is in the process of automating. And we'll start off with an example of that. So the majority of work which we do in IT is either we are supporting a tool, okay, or we are supporting an application they have made, or we have a ticket-based system. Like, see, Wipro actually has at one point of time 50,000 people who used to monitor telecommunication systems. Okay, so basically your tower is not working right now correctly. Okay, so they will monitor it. They will send people to fix it. Okay, at a tower location, all these things. So this is a very big business and this is very people intensive. So at that point of time, the cost was really not enough to actually go for automation. Like we were getting people for a very cheap amount. So it was more easier to just send people rather than write a program to them. Okay. So but now things are slowly getting changed. Now our wages are also rising. Okay. So the next frontier for IT is that we are going to move from cost arbitrage, that means the dollar and conversion and the less cost here, to value arbitrage, where we offer them much more value. Okay. So that is how we are moving, and for that we have to prepare ourselves. So I will just give you a short demo for this start. Let's hope we don't get into demo bugs. So whenever we start a demo, you can kind of fall into that demo bug. And the sign in button, sign up button is there. Okay. So it's a very common use case. Suppose now they have asked me to make an app. The first feature is to sign up sign in. So I go there, I make a just make username, password. Okay. And nothing to see here. Okay, and then I sign in with that. Okay, this is the first one. So when I give it to a tester, okay, what that person is going to do? The tester is going to repeat the steps, okay, that he is going to do it, he is going to sign up, sign in, okay, but this is what we used to do earlier, okay, but now we do this entire thing automatically, okay, we now don't actually allow the testers to take so much trouble. So what we do is, so you will see some movement happening on the screen. So basically, the entire thing is now automated. Okay. See the username and password are automatically getting typed here. Okay. Then you create an account. Then you go back. Then you sign it. Okay, and finally you will see a green pass sign in in the left window there. Okay. So what does this show you? The testing was one of the most mainstay of IT companies. The reason was the most easiest thing to outsource was test. You have a binary you have built maybe on site, okay, but you don't want to pay the testers that much. You know, in US and in Europe, like there is hardly much significant gap between a developer and tester, because their testers also worth their salt and the developers obviously. So they are paying, say, for an average college graduate, okay, the first job is going to get around $60,000 US a year. Okay, this is the average. So even if he's in testing, he's in development, he's in anything, he's going to get that amount. So what the first thing that companies outsourced was testing, because it was very easy. You don't have to see the code. The security part is very less. You just send them the binary, you send them the steps, and then you test it. But later on, what happened? As the systems evolved, okay, as the systems evolved, we became huge apps. Testing itself became a very involved activity. Okay, so all of these. If I can show you. You can see the screen. So basically, you just run that thing again. So then you can get it again. Anyway, so what I'm trying to explain here is that how things have changed from the time we entered the race, or the workforce, and how time will change when you guys are going to enter. So just now you told me like they are having 3 rounds of interview. Okay, you know, have 3 rounds of interview. Previously we used to just type that stupid how to add numbers, and you won't believe what people used to means when we had our interviews. There was one guy he was asked the question like, most of the majority people are non-CS IT, right? We have 3 streams versus one CS and one IT. So EI, C, FD, and so majority people are non-CS IT. And even the CS IT people will falter a bit when they go to the interview. So they will ask you the question like this: if you are sitting in a rotating glass ball and the lightning strikes, what is it? So all these type of questions they are going to ask. At that point of time, they were just randomly taking interviews, asking questions. People will be asking all those type of random questions, and if they like it, it's almost like musical. Okay, तुमको अच्छा लगा it was that, because the majority of the jobs, okay, you don't need to be a graduate to do this, frankly. Okay, the jobs that we had at that point of time, you don't need to be graduate to have. If you have just basic sense, okay, maybe a 10-12 pass guy can do all these testings, right? You tell them the script like do this, and you will execute it. So that was it. So they are actually why they used to take engineering people, so that they can show that the foreign white guys that okay, see, we have engineers, okay, so we have the engineers and they are all qualified and this and that, and they are going to charge say $20 an hour. Okay. Now in US at that point of time, the average was around 40, 45. Okay, 45 or maybe even 60, depending on the experience and all that. But in India, they used to charge $20 an hour, and that's for time and money. And there are other type of project fixed price. They will just take a one-shot charge and they will work with that. So this was how things used to happen. But now things have actually changed a lot. Now it is become, the cost is not justified to actually ignore automation anymore. Okay, so you will see a lot of people will have a lot of different views in automation. Okay, it is like the cusp of industrial revolution. Like when at that point when the industrial revolution happened in England. Okay, it was the start of the modern era. Okay, when machines actually came to work. Okay, remove some of the manual labor. Now it's a time of a second. It's not I can say industrial, but it's now like AI revolution. So where your manual labor is already removed by machines, now your thinking part is also going to be removed. So like what more can you think and what more can you do? So this is the challenge actually. So at this point of time, I cannot say what is going to happen. In fact, nobody can say. You will see Gartner trying to give some graph, some other people are going to give the graph, but the basic thing is nobody really knows what is going to happen. So we'll just look at some data actually, how things have been changing and how you can correlate like what is happening with the things right now. this was from the Wikipedia IT, like what is, everybody knows, like you should know like what is the amount of IT. When we were there, it was $80 billion. Okay, so in 8 years, it has almost, it is still 2015 figure, so it's now more than $160 billion. Okay, and the most important thing about the IT was, it was your mass recruiter. Okay, like it was the easiest way to get a job, which is not BPO, right? So you can definitely get a BPO job anytime because that is still very cheap at this point of time also. But even that is going through transformation. So what our average engineering student, his goal was to get into TCS, IBM, Wipro, all these type of IT companies. And if you are really good, you have some guys into Microsoft as well from your college. So that depends on how good you are basically. So every point of time we were used to having 12 digit, 13 digit, 15 digit, like 15% growth, 20% growth. Every quarter we used to have that type of growth result. But now it has reduced. You can go and check the growth forecast of Infosys, growth forecast of TCS and their last quarter results. Now they have slowly moved to single digit growth. Okay. So the model for these IT companies was per head growth. So each engineer they used to hire, it used to cost them a year around $3,500. Okay, a year. Okay, 3,000. Depending on the currency, they say 4,000, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 5,000, and they used to earn around $11,000 to $15,000 a year from that time. Okay, so the difference was their profit. Okay, so that was their salary. In IT industry has the maximum cost in salary. So the increase in that component means that they are going to hire less people. Okay, so the 50,000 people who used to work in automation and monitoring in Wipro, they are now slowly being replaced by shell script. Okay, so one person is being replaced by shell script. So you can imagine the type of work people were doing. Okay, so they were basically sitting in front of a screen, okay, reading books, eating, and then suddenly something happened. Oh, okay, this site has gone down. Okay, say Google.com. So Google has an infrastructure support team. Okay, so somebody is constantly monitoring the Google site, okay, or Gmail, and then something happens. They said this is gone down. Immediately they will raise a ticket and assign it to the appropriate team. Okay, that was just the monitoring part, and then there was the other guy who used to actually work on those type of things. So this is one of the mainstay of IT industry, and this is how majority of the employment is there. Okay, and this came in business standard this year. See, the hiring will be not be, and when in 2008 or 9 also Wipro used to advertise in the internal portals non-linear growth. Okay, they used to see even at that point of time Wipro is a very confused company. I was just a chimney company hoga, so Wipro is number one in that. So, but they make you do good work sometimes. Okay, but they are very chimney, and even they will write articles on the pages like how to do marketing with zero budget. Okay, how to do this without money. So they are always trying to do some work without money. Okay, like what is the less cost. So one thing you will come to understand, appreciate from them is how they optimize the cost. Okay, Wipro is like most cost optimized in terms of this expense. They are always trying to reduce it. So at that point of time, in 2008 to 2009, we used to get those flyers. Okay, whenever something happens in your IT company, you will get a lot of good emails with PPTs. Okay, or all this type of this. Posters, non-linear growth, this, that, we are now going to consulting. So they had actually, in fact most of them actually seen this and they were trying to implement at that point of time. And now the time has actually come for the inflection. Now the inflection point has come. Now we are actually going to transition to that part of the sphere where the number of jobs are not required. Okay, and this can be seen in the entire thing. You have 20% less hirings from 90 to 70, almost matching what you guys have observed. Okay, this economic times, it came out with 6.4 lakh IT jobs will be wiped out by 2020. 2020 is not that far now. It is 2016 already, right? So 2020 is end of 2016 now. So 2020 is not that far. So all these jobs are done by engineers like you and me. Okay, so it's not like somebody else's job is going. It is your job that is going to go. Okay, so this is what is going to happen. And even global, some companies have declined that 1.4 million jobs, like 14 lakh jobs will be out by 2021. Okay. And this is what you are seeing. All this data that I am saying, you are seeing on the ground. 3 rounds of interview for going to TCS. Previously it was unheard of. Okay. Maximum used to have one technical round and one HR round. Maximum, at max. And that also technical round, you saw the type of questions people used to ask. Okay. So, and they even asked on the induction motor in 3 Idiots, they even asked that question. Okay, how does induction motor work? This was asked to one of my friends, guy, but he did not say he didn't explain how the induction motor works, and he got the job. So basically, they will at that point of time they knew that you might not know much about CSIT stuff, so they will even ask from your domain. And lot of engineers are from non-CSIT. The majority engineers in the IT industry are non-CSIT. Okay, because the CSIT streams are so much, the remaining are filled by all the non-CSIT. So they know some bit of knowledge from there also. So they used to ask this type of questions and people used to answer. This is how they used to get job. So now what is for you? Okay, what is the future for you? What you guys have to do? Okay. Before, you need to be prepared for like the type of job that are going to be eliminated first. Okay, first come first serve basis elimination. So system admin head their job. This is a job. This is specifically comes under support. Okay, support is more than almost 40% of IT jobs here. Support, you raise a ticket. Okay, you will work on that ticket and then close the ticket. Just like nowadays CSC, if your line goes, you call them, they give you a number, right? They give you a ticket number, and then they will work on it, they will fix it, and they will ask you for feedback, okay, how this is happening. So for such type of work, they will be there, but for many tool-based support, like my email is not being configured correctly, or my application, I want entry into a particular application that is working in my project. Okay, there is access control, like you have joined into a project, you need an access, right? So there's somebody has to give you an access. So that is one work. Okay. So these type of work are all going to be eliminated, and this was 40% of the job. So this was very high amount of job. In fact, my current company, we had development Google Arrow. Did you fall in love with that secretary?
Yes.
That chatbot? Like most of these nerdy guys, they used to just talk with them for hours and all night. Okay. So, okay, I did not use it. So, but basically, I have seen people, they are like spending hours talking with that chatbot, and she's so good. Okay, she will understand your context of the communication. So, like what you are saying, and I would, anybody who has that latest software, I would suggest you go ahead and try it. So you will find the fun element there and see how it is improved, that chatbot. So they are going to actually replace the first level of service. Like you have a problem, you go and chat with somebody. Okay, this is my problem. So immediately you will chat with somebody, but that somebody is not going to be able. Okay, that somebody is going to be a bot. So that bot, and you will not even realize that you are chatting with a bot and not a human being. Axis Bank has started rolling out some chat-based support using bots. So this work, which should take one whole human, is now being done by a script or a bot. Okay, the BPM tools that I was talking about. Previously, people used to say and monitor that part and then raise issues. Now this entire thing is automated with tools. So the tool will itself raise the issue. Tool will assign it to the engineer. So that monitoring part is gone totally. So this is already happening, and most of the monitoring jobs people have moved to either implementation part or moved to somewhere else entirely. Okay, and the cloud testing. This is very pertinent when it comes to mobile. Like anybody of you have tried developing in Android? Anybody? Oh, good. So you will face one very problem with Android is the fragmentation. Okay, so right now, like there are more than 4 devices will pass my testing, but Samsung somehow is going to fail. I don't know why they have made it. They are like developers nightmares. But they are the most popular guys in Android, so we have to always support the Samsung part. So I have started my entire career like from 8 years in Android. So like from start I was in there. So the major problem that we face here is a different type of, we have to test in one device. Again, you need 5, 6, 7 guys to test or one guy with 10 devices and you test with those devices, all of them. But now it has been removed. Now you will write the script that I wrote and Google will give you a cloud test environment where all these actual devices are connected into their cloud and you are going to run your test on each and every device at the same time. So you are going to run the test on each and every device at the same time and you will get better results. So again, see the amount of people who are getting eliminated. So this was used to be a mainstay, that is also getting eliminated now. Now we come to a very short video of machine learning. Is there any speakers that I can, or is it? Or we just try to see if that works in. So this was so far the normal automation. Okay, automation was you know the type of work.
You're watching the This player is not a computer program I wrote called RIO. This program started out with an attitude RIO that continued pressing right on the controller to make the player go towards the end of the level. We learned all of these things through a process called neuroevolution. In this video, I will teach you about how RIO learns to beat this level, you go to the next one, what its brain looks like, and how it's all based on actual biological evolution. So let's start out by actually looking at RIO's brain. Let's play it again, but this time we'll look at RIO's brain as it's making the decisions of what buttons to press. It's going to look at big complicated curves. Don't worry, I'll break it down. This structure of colored lines and linking boxes is called a neural network. It's a simple mathematical model for how a brain works, but it can produce some very complicated behavior. With enough computational power, a neural network can come close to simulating a real human brain, but modern technology is view of the level. The white squares stand for blocks that they can stand on. The black squares stand for moving objects like enemies or mushrooms. On the right side, you have the outputs. These are the 8 buttons that RIO. But this player is not a computer program I wrote called RIO. This program started out with an attitude that didn't even know that pressing right on the controller to make the player go towards the end of the level. We learned all of these things through a process called neuroevolution. In this video, I want to teach you about how RIO learns to beat this level. You go to the next one. What its brain looks like. And how it's all based on actual biological evolution. So let's start out by actually looking at RIO. Let's play it again. But this time, we'll look at RIO's brain as it's making the decisions of what buttons to press. It's going to look at big complicated curves. Don't worry, I'll break it down. This structure of colored lines and linking boxes is called a neural network. It's a simple mathematical model for how a brain works, but it can produce some very complicated behavior. With enough computational power, a neural network can come close to simulating a real human brain, but modern technologies. On the left side, you have the inputs. This is what RIO is. It's a simplified view of the level. The white squares stand for blocks that they can stand on. The black squares stand for moving objects like enemies or mushrooms. On the right side, you have the outputs. These are the 8 buttons that RIO is able to press by using its neural network. In between the inputs and the outputs, all those line boxes, those are the neural network. Each free-floating box is called a neuron, and the lines connecting those boxes are like the axons that different in the human brain. At any given time, only some of these neurons and connections are to be used. And this is what people talk about when they say you only use 10% of your brain. The neural network you're seeing is a pretty complicated one. And it got so complicated as a result of a 24-hour evolutionary learning session. So, to explain how neural networks work, let's rewind about 24 hours and look at how the whole process started.
This is the most amazing part. Like how the starting is. It doesn't know anything.
The program is probably even dumber than you thought. Often it just stands there and doesn't even press the buttons. If RIO stands still for too long, it'll cut off the simulation and try the next neural network. So it's mostly just jumping from one simulation to the next. But occasionally, the neural network says to press the right button. The player starts to try. Behavior isn't complicated, but it's enough to make at least some progress. Let's take a look at a sample neural network to understand just how it works. This is one of the randomly generated neural networks that appeared in the first generation of the simulation. There are some green lines and a red line, and one neuron in the middle. Here's how it works. The green line is a positive connection, and the red line is a negative connection. The green line reading from a black or white square will turn
So
out
we just skip
the
this.
same color. The red line reading from
Just
a
see
black
that.
will turn out the opposite color. From thousands.
So
You can see there are several places
this
that
is what I
got
would actually show you. So this is in 24 hours. This is how its learning is being generated. So the most amazing thing here is to understand that this in game, tomorrow you will see this in real world applications. Okay, where you are just going to define a different type of loose model, very loose model. Okay, I want to work in the banking domain, so how quickly can you detect the spams? Okay, or how quickly can you detect something is not working? Maybe in medicine, like how quickly you can detect the cancer is there. Okay, so all these applications are going to work, and you don't need a developer to program each and every situation. Right now we are doing situations. So all this automation that I showed, I wrote that code for the automated testing line. But here this guy is just wrote a general purpose program, and then in another video which I have not downloaded, it's more technical, he will use the same program to play another game. And that game also that bot will be able to finish that game also using the same program. So you see how the situations are changing, but very little effort, and that entire code is 500 lines of Lua script. Okay, this is neural network, the code that he has made. So it is 500 lines of script, and this thing is now challenging human beings right now. So this is what the future is. So kind of depressing, right? Are you guys excited or depressed by this?
Mixed emotions.
Mixed emotions.
So what exactly should we consider on? Like considering the sudden growth in the artificial intelligence market, and we are entering into the IT sector, what exactly should we learn to do that actually has a future?
So basically, the long-term future is very difficult to predict, like what is going to happen. But short-term is that you have to be, like IT is increasing, doubling every 7 years. And now you guys will have to double yourself. Okay, you will have to know a lot of things now to distinguish between yourself and your peers. Okay. So now let us look at some of the positive of cheap computing. Okay, so the phone that you have, okay, the phone that you have has powered a revolution. Right? It started with the iPhone, now they're copying Android. But this has started a revolution of the number of jobs. Like this industry was not there at all before 2007. Before that iPhone came in, there was nobody used to make phone application. Like they used to have some games in Nokia, Engage, and all these things. There used to be some game, but basically there was no business application, some personal applications, but that's all. But ever since we had the revolution of the phones, we have had a lot of opportunities. Okay, and now in your period of time you have the MOC or the massive multiple online courses. Okay, so these are the things which you need. Now you will be expected to know all things because these are freely available and they teach you a lot of things and they teach you how to think. Because so far what developers we have been doing so far is learn how to implement. We have not learned to think. We have not learned to think, and that is why we are staying in the lower layer. We have not learned to think, we have been learned to execute. Somebody goes and tells us, do this, and we execute this. Somebody gives us the specs, we do this. But now you have to be a thinker of yourself. Okay. So, the guys who have not yet made a job. So, like, what you guys are thinking? What is your next plan of action? Or you guys are thinking of doing something on your own? Anybody maybe made an app or something on their own? Any service? Anything? No? But now is the time to do it really. When you are in college, you have a lot of time compared to like when you will be working. So now you have the time to take the risk because now you have very little to pay. If it doesn't work, only thing that you are going to waste is a bit of hours, but that is also I would call waste because you learn a lot of things. Okay, so just for an example, I'm going to show you the next slide. Like I made some small application. It was just, I will say, experiments in marketing. Okay, it was not really a good app, something to really show. But in like almost 2 years, we got $8,600. Okay, now you might think that the amount is not that much, only 4 lakh rupees. But the amount of effort that we put is nothing, absolutely nothing. So this entire 4-5 apps that we made and we got this revenue. Okay, so this entire app, 4-5 app took it, I think maximum about 100 hours, max. Okay, like we work 40 hours a month. We are supposed to work 40 hours a month, but like she's going to tell you, she'll go back right now and she'll be online and doing work. So we far exceed that 40 hours. Okay, it's just exploitation. So this as a cost to benefit ratio is very high. So at this point of time, I really encourage you to try freelancer, try or make your own app and just experiment. The end of the day, we are the companies now, or startup developer now going to join a startup like in January. So what these guys are doing right now is they are looking for doers. Okay, not I am very interested. Like most of the time, people will say, okay, you have done this. I am very interested in Android programming. I said, okay, good. So anything you have to show. Silence. I am very interested. So if say suppose anybody of you are interested in movies. What? You guys know about movies? So if I ask you some question about who's your favorite director? favorite genre of movies or what?
Science fiction.
Science fiction. So what is your favorite science fiction?
Currently I'm hooked on to Star Trek.
Star Trek. Okay. So if somebody asks, I have not seen a lot of Star Trek, so I don't know. But if somebody asks you some question on Star Trek, you'll be easy to answer for you, right? Because you are watching Game of Thrones. People who see Game of Thrones, how many? Okay. So like, who is Jon Snow? Like everybody will tell me, right? Who is Jon Snow? So this is what people expect when you say, I love doing this. Okay. So like when I was interviewing for this company, so I asked this guy like, what do you want to join us? And so his standard question, he said, it's my dream company. I said, oh my God, it's a dream company. Okay. So tell me one thing about this, one single detail, anything you want to do. Who is the CEO? Who is something? So he was not able to answer anything. So when you say that you are interested in something, or when you're trying to project something, you need to back it up with something that you really know. Okay. So previously we could get away with this. Like we would say, like lot of my friends, one of my friends, she said that whenever I used to pass through Techno India, I used to see the Wipro Sun logo, and I wanted to join there at that point of time. Like first year. And people used to laugh at that, but she got the job. Okay, she got the job. So like people used to just take it as a fun thing. Okay. So we have got, I mean, even in my case, I gave the interview twice because the first time everybody said, don't say C, don't say C. I went and said, I know C. Then he asked some question I couldn't answer. Then he said, okay, see, one thing, you have got good communication, so please, what have you ate today? I said, I was truthful, I didn't really have anything. I was very hungry in the morning and I was too much tense at that point of time. And we used to have all the colleges together, like 800 people. So I said, I really told the truth that I did not have something and come back. So again, I went and came back, and at that point of time, I had developed the Edge website. So the first interviewer, he did not check my CV at all. He just started randomly asking questions. Now, when I came back, he assigned me to a next different interview. So he actually saw my CV and he said, okay, you have done this. Then he started asking questions on the website. So I had done that website, so I knew everything that I could possibly know for that small amount of work that I did. So he was convinced by my answer. Then he asked, you know Java? I said, no, now I don't know anything. So you give me the pass, I'm going to go to HR now. So that's how I got. So at that point of time, it was very liberal. So it was like really the mood of the the person who's taking the interview. He's in a funny mood, he's in light mood, so you're going to get pass. They really don't expect you to know anything actually. Just a simple answer here and there. Textbook is academic answer, just like we do. What is the current book for passing the exam? Previously, what was that? Matrix, yes. So previously we used to have Matrix, now we use. So just like an organizer type of knowledge they require. Okay, just give something and expect an answer, something like that. So this was the past, but now 3 interviews, and next year it will be more. And what is going to happen is people are actually, they will actually take written tests, written programming challenges that you need to clear initially before even you can interview. This is how it is going, and all the foreign companies that I have interviewed, all of them will take a test. They will not even entertain you a bit. First thing you will take a test, then only they will take the interview, what you know. Because if you can't really fit their definition of a good programmer, it's really no use wasting your time. You're wasting your time only. Okay. So this is how things are moving. So what I would just suggest you guys is that at this point of time, you make something, make anything. Because still in India, it is still growing. That difficulty part is still not there yet, where it will become almost mandatory for you to show some skills at the point of interview. So make something, and there is a website called HackerRank. Okay, it's a very simple website where you can actually program directly on their web ID. You don't need to install anything, and do one easy program a day. No need to do even the medium or the tough one. Just do one simple program a day, maybe 30-35 minutes. So on the long run, what the knowledge that you get will actually put you in a much better state. So the way things change slowly, we also move inward. That means we need to focus more on fundamentals now. So previously we had this framework, Android, iOS, all these things. Now slowly, Google has said from web first to mobile first, and now from mobile first to AI first. So what does that even mean, AI first? We don't know really what does that even mean. But what we can say is that the interfaces will be very different. Now we have voice-activated interfaces. Previously it was touch with buttons, now touch with actually screen touch, and now we have voice-activated interfaces. So we don't really know what AI first is going to look like. So what we do know is that all these things are built on basic stuff, on how the Google Map Reduce is working, how these things are sorted. So when you go for interview, Google they will ask you, maybe a normal interview, how will you sort an array of numbers? This is standard interview, maybe somebody will ask. Now this has become a standard. Google will ask you, I have 4 GB of data. How are you going to sort that? That answer you have to give at that point of time. Okay. So you need to be on that level. So I'm not saying that like Google, everybody has to go to Google and all this thing, but what the important thing is that you need to focus on the fundamentals. Now they don't expect you to know a lot, but they expect you, now the expectation is that you will know the basics very well. Okay, so that the data structure and class algorithm in which you always copied that algorithm in your examination, try to learn a bit, try to learn at least the complexity, like why simple say bubble sort will take years for sorting say 1 lakh string or this, and how why quick sort will take less than a few minutes to sort the same thing. So you need to learn these things on your own, and this is how the expectation is going to be. And the last thing comes about follow the money. Okay, like we all we want to, like it's nothing bad. We want to have earn as much as possible with our time, right? So previously I thought like earning, like changing companies is the only way to like quickly earn, and it's still a valid way to earn, but it is, I change every 2 years, okay, but still it was, means now I have hit a plateau, like how much I will change, right? Like changing companies, like after some time they will say, bhai tum to ekdam round robin ho, jab aate ho bas 1 saal 2 saal rehte ho 5 saal, theek hai, how much I am going to change. So what we are now looking at is people who are going to make the next generation of interfaces, next generation of solutions. So they are now specifically looking for people with algorithmic skills. They are gone are the days where you used to know a language or you used to know a framework, Java, Python, this and that. So those days are going, and now you need to implement something in any language of your choice. So they are looking for people who can think. So previously we are the generation of people who can do. Okay, we have been told to do something and we can do. But now you guys are the next generation. You guys have to think. The problem is there. Nobody is going to solve that problem for you. They will give you the problem straight on, and now you have to think like what we can do to solve this problem. So to have that thinking ability, we are not designed to think, right? We are designed to learn, mug up and vomit. This is what we have been trained to do for all these years. We are not designed to think, we are designed to just learn. Learn and vomit, learn and vomit. So now it is very difficult to think. So to really think in that manner, you have to see how people think. How people think, how they design the solution. So go to those books that Udacity or Coursera and see their courses. They are vastly different to anything if you have done any training outside or anywhere here in your college, anything, or if you have done a Java course somewhere. They are vastly different to what people do in India. People will tell you how to do this, and then there will be an assignment to do the same thing, and you give it back. This is how we have been trained to again do. But these guys will train you to think, and that is very important. But the final end point is that we used to have an edge, think big, or think great, or think different, something like that. Now just think. You have to think. That is the final goal, okay? And keep learning, and maybe drink once in a while. That is also okay. So that is basically our presentation. So we now like to ask a short Q&A session with you. So if you guys have any questions for us that you want to ask us.
What is the machine learns too much? That says, are we looking at that kind of?
See, machine learns too much. Now, right now we don't have the definition of too much, right?
You said 24 hours, like it took.
How fast it can learn.
No, there must be a limit, there must be breaking condition, right?
See, there are fundamental limits of machine learning. Those are the path. Okay, for example, I have a solution. Okay, I can do 2 plus 3 equal to 5 and 1 plus 4 equal to 5. Okay, so what we can, their fundamental difference, the problem is they will come to 5, but they will come via 1 plus 4, or they might come by 2 plus 3. We have to give them that guidance that you need to do 2 plus 3 is 5.
Not asking us, are we looking at a scenario where AI is better than human intelligence?
That is what Ray Kurzweil, he is the artificial intelligence director in Google. Okay, he is saying hard AI. Hard AI means, that means like us, they become like us. Like, you know about the Turing test? So Turing test, what does it say? That when you are conversing with an AI that is so advanced that you don't even realize that you are talking with a chat bot or you are talking with a non-human. Okay, you are interacting with non-human. So that is the Turing test. Some might say that chatbots are almost at that level of passing the Turing test. Okay, and the hard AI, what Ray Kurzweil is saying that in 20 to 30 years time, it may be a possibility. But this is a future, they are the futurists. Okay, so these guys are going to make that type of prediction. So what they are saying that this is a possibility. You heard that guy in that video is saying that the entire neural network can mimic a human brain if we have that computational power. Okay, so like we have like trillions of neurons in our brain. So if we have the computational power, we can mimic it. So that is their proposition right now. Nobody has implemented or has gone, or the hardware computation is not that advanced so far to implement that. But that is the way we are looking for. AI has always been there. Some people used to say in the 60s and 70s also that AI will be a reality by 90s, but it's not happening. But now you can see how things have changed. And this is the direction we are going. So it might happen. There is no, we cannot see any reason why not it will happen.
The graph you showed must have an end, right?
Yeah, see that graph will have a most efficient, like it will, if you keep it running, it will find a shortest period of time to cross the limit. Right? After that you can't have any more.
Yeah, see, that was
There is a limit, definitely there is a limit, but what the main thing is that we are having a general purpose intelligence. That is the main scary part also and good part also. You don't know what is, they are going to give solutions to our problem, what problem they are going to do. Any other questions?
Like you said, we asked how to sort of 4 GB of data. So we can't use a bubble sort, we can't use a tree. So what type of sorting will we use?
No, they are called disk sorting. Okay, this is called disk sorting. Because 4 GB is a small number. Now they will ask you 100 GB. So you can't fit that amount of memory in a RAM. Or maybe in Google you can do that. They have like lines of PCs, cheap PCs just running around. So like, oh, and you guys are not of Quora.
Yeah.
Please join that Quora and see what people are doing. It's like one of the best social networking sites for us right now. And you will see what people are doing. So, like they say, like most of my knowledge has been gained from there. Like what inside of it. A lot of people ask questions about Google because everybody is curious. Like Google. So we ask a lot of questions. They say that they couldn't even imagine the infrastructure they have. Like it's an unimaginable, almost like infinite type of thing. So
Photograph, there's a room full of servers inside.
yeah, the data centers are huge. Data centers.
It's like
Don't
all
imagine.
the servers.
That's the even for Facebook. Like every image that you upload in Facebook, they keep 4 copies of that. Think about the amount of data they are actually generating every day. So, means you have to find out certain of disk sorting, and there are a lot of varieties. It makes different type of sorting algorithms that are also specific situation, and especially depending on the input. Some sorting algorithms are based on a type of input. Maybe you have some inputs which are more or less more sorted than others. Then you do some other algorithms on that. This type of things. Any other questions?
Like you
Only
said-
first benches, come on. Anyone on the last bench?
Like you said, the companies are shifting from the trend of doing to thinking. So can we live with the longing right now that in future the IT companies will also shift their trend from doing to thinking? That is the training programs and everything, making the environment such that people more tend to learn rather than just sitting on the computer and doing stuff and also thinking.
IT industry is very compared to this. There are 2 types of industry: software engineering and one is IT. So IT is always lags behind in software engineering. So software engineering is always on the cutting edge. Okay, whatever things that are thinking. IT is always they slow to adopt those things because they are very big, like 3 lakh people, 4 lakh people. They're not going to change overnight. Okay? So IT is now going to move from manual to automation. Okay, not really machine learning. They are implementing. IBM is implementing in their research centers. Okay, they are there, but overall Indian IT is moving from doing totally manually to moving to automation. And once the automation is complete, then they can go, and they are moving parallel. Now they are having consultancy services. So every IT company will say TCS is a name only consultancy services, but they have an actually separate division. They call Center of Excellence or consultancy. So these guys will actually make generic solutions to customers' problems. So they will try to almost like a product, like Infosys makes in Airtel. Okay. So they will try to make solutions which can be applied to a lot of customers together. So that saves them a lot of work. So like few guys did it, now they will maintain it and they will continue to generate money from that. So this is the IT is emerging trend in IT to move more towards automation. And one interesting thing, like people when they are asking, like Cognizant, like a lot of people are saying we are going to do the jobs. The Cognizant said that the best response that comes, don't worry, it is still 3 years from now. So that is the best response, the most positive response they are giving for lots of jobs. So don't worry, that automation trend will still take 3 years. So that is the best answer. You will see how the things are. So even the best response, the most actual learning part, when the business is there, because they are totally guided by the business team. They don't want to do any research for nothing. Unlike Google, like they create industries, and these guys just follow. Any questions? Yes, Anjali.
You said that you have also come for recruitment. Means for recruiting in
Yeah,
colleges.
yeah. Not college. I actually take lateral interviews.
Okay. So my question is, if there is a product-based company, it should focus on the coding part of the student. Then why is it like it says that we need top 50
See,
on pointer basis?
because the problem, again the same thing, the problem is with the huge amount of supply. Product companies take still less people. When it compared to IT services company, they will take 5, 10, TCS will take 50, 60, they will take 5 or 10. So, this is a case of simple correlation. Like, you will see that people who generally are good with pointers or they are getting good points, they generally know their stuff. This is a correlation that we have. Okay, but even then also, see now the top 15 is also running into, I mean, if you go to the colleges now, it's a lot of, there are so many number of colleges that top 15 will also, if you take all the colleges, it will come to about 400, 500 people. If about 10 people there, if you take top 15 for every college, there's 60 odd colleges now. So just multiply the top 50 for all of them. You say so many guys for just 10 positions. So while we are recruiting, we want to reduce our time for recruitment. So we want to only take people where we can visibly identify without talking with them that they have the metal. So that is why this is obsession with pointers and all. But if you can show, if you have a problem with pointers and that, if you can show that you have built stuff, it will make a totally different thing. But for product company, you will see that they will not actually come to college and take like that they have open competitions. Most of the product company like Microsoft, I don't know how did they take, they had either ladies only once, I think I remember in our time. And now they have
They came for tech support.
Oh, tech support. So tech support, see, so even though Microsoft pays a lot for tech support also. Yeah, even because they have maintained a standard, right? Because and they can afford to do that. They have number of employees much less compared to Wipro, TCS and all this thing. So they can afford to do that. But tech support is, you will think as Microsoft very good, but tech support has, the future is very bleak for tech support.
They work in night shifts.
Yes.
Regular.
Night
Their
shift.
normal life is night shift. I know some guys who are that the company and have joined Microsoft in the tech support, they work in night shifts. Every single day of the year.
So why these guys, you know, like Microsoft SharePoint, okay, all these tools that are being used widely by the IT industry, so they will actually provide you one guy to work with, support that tool for say TCS or for X and for somebody else. They will just provide you one guy to do work with that because they have bought so much tools from Microsoft. So these tech support guys won't do that. They will do hardware like HDD support, okay, all these type of support. So the story is not very bright for the tech support guys.
And the knowledge also gets limited because they only have a set of tools which you work on and you get training on that and then you work on it. That's it. You do not. It's not like you are studying something, doing something new, or developing something. It's not like that.
Just one more question. You mentioned there is a lot more of supply as compared to the demand. People around us have told us that just don't concentrate on graduation, go for postgraduates.
Raising the bar.
Is it necessary, and if necessary, what exactly should we consider on MTech, MBA, or what exactly?
See, MBA is totally more non-technical part. So if you are interested there, there will be all the IT industry or even any big company, it's a people industry, right? So you have to work with people, you have to know how to work with them, and be confident and understand the numbers, the figures. So every business has a non-technical part, which is equally important compared as a technical part. So that is a separate one. So if you are interested in going for the management part, then definitely you should go for MBA. So nowadays, like they will try to do anything to raise the bar. So they have so many people that बस बीटेक को लेंगे इंसान तो all MTech थोड़ा सा तो pool reduce हो गया फिर वो भी top उसको भी बोलेंगे यार top 10 कर दे और भी reduce हो गया तो 10 आदमी के लिए हम लोग को तो चाहिए ही 5 आदमी तो हम क्यों 500 आदमी का इंटरव्यू देंगे this is the same thinking that we have and I want only 4-5 people why will I interview 500 people to get 4 so I will make as many people in India whatever criteria you give you will get thousands of people so you give a top 1% and even if you get only IITs still now I think 14-15 IITs now so like whatever criteria you give in India we are going to expand it so right now what we need to have is just focus on the fundamentals and doers. So doers will always take you, even there are a lot of doers now also, but still the numbers are less compared to just passing out or doing graduation or post-graduation. The numbers are much less compared to that.
When you're talking about the software industry, what is the prospect of the hardware industry, things like parallel computing, HPC?
So, see, all this hardware industry part is being abstracted to software, right? So you have now telecom, like Jio. See, Jio is now IP-based network. They are no longer the standard Airtel, your telephone network that we have. So the hardware industry is still there. It has a legacy to support. Okay, but it is not really very growing. They are niche like IoT, Internet of Things. Okay, so now you have printers where we automatically get HP instantly. It will automatically monitor your ink and they will tell the guys to deliver you a ink whenever it reaches below a certain point. So you don't even have to worry about it. So Internet of Things, there is a rapid growth like in Raspberry Pi. Okay, so we have, I made one demo in the college, like, in the office. We had some ideas competitions. I made a meeting room detector. So empty meeting room, so we made a infrared detector and you should see whether anyone is there. We can just visit that site and see which rooms are empty right now and which are occupied. So we used to run around basically for the rooms all the time. So we made that solution there. So these type of things are there, but hardware is very niche.
No, but I was specifically talking about the high performance machines.
No, that will continue to grow. The hardware, that part, the performance will grow until when it will hit a plateau, nobody knows. But that at a point of time, they are reducing the size. See, how does the hardware grow? Either it will become more powerful, or for the same power, it is reducing in size. So nowadays, computer phone is much more powerful than 2000 era PCs, right? So how this is what the computation is. So the computation will move from your phones to your watches, yeah, maybe even to your dresses. So all these things. So who knows what the AI first future will look like? Or now, even I think Kickstarter they had some band which can project the phone in your wrist, and then you can track on. So all these people are thinking. So now is the century of thinkers. Not only you have to do, you have to think and make a solution for that. So all those product companies are specifically looking for problem solvers. They are not really interested in your grasp of a language or something, because today we have Androids. I don't know if 5 years time there will be any Android or they will be replaced by maybe Chromium or something else altogether. So we can't focus everything on just one framework or one platform. Even see iOS, now they're making some missteps. Now they're not that well received. How they remove the phone jack and then the port from their laptop. Now people are, and if you see their quarterly, yearly incomes, every year they used to see record year 2014, record year 2013, record revenue, and 2016, revenue for 2016. That means their record has stopped. Now people are not really that excited about iPhone. Now Google is coming up with a lot of innovative stuff compared to iPhone. Right? Not even iPhone, Apple, whatever Apple is. Even the Microsoft has come with the Surface Studio. That's really awesome. So the problem with the IT industry is that what is big today will most probably not remain after a few years. And one more thing that is very worrying about our industry, like we are facing, like, as you go into a senior role, your value reduces unless you have become manager. You see, a lot of people at 4 or 5 years experience, they become managers. They will start to become lead, they will start to manage people. Because in India, the work value is relatively low value work. Again, we are doing things. So like if someone already thought it for you, how to do this thing, you don't need an 8-year-old guy to do it for you when a fresher or a 2 or 4-year-old guy can do it. Because it's going to cost you a lot more. So an 8-year-old guy has to actually then expand his learning to a lot more things where he can apply himself. Okay, because of the nature of our services industry. In product, we have a very popular product. You can go and support it for a long time. You can develop new features for it, and your knowledge will still be valuable. But for services, today we are working on one project. Tomorrow something different already. So what about your 8 years of experience? Like you can make some efficiency, you can bring into a process, but after that also it will plateau. Right? Because after that your value will not remain. So it is an unfortunate part, and the only industry where in the tech side, if you keep growing, your value will be less unless you learn something, unless you bring something new to the table every time. So you really have to push up the stocks basically for us. That is one unfortunate part. Any other queries?
Like you said, like building stuff holds more value during an interview, right? So during trainings, we build stuff, like we are given a project, and even during internships, at times we are given projects, right? So which will hold more value from an interview's point of view?
No, the only thing of value it will hold is what your staff does. Okay, and you are confident when you can be grilled with that thing which you have built. Okay, so it is okay if you are building as a training, but normally the problem with our training is if you go with a training for a standard Java training and all this run-of-the-mill training institute, you will not get something that really is very. You don't have to think on making that thing. Right? Very run-of-the-mill approach. Okay, you learned inherited in Java, then you make a small program to maybe enter some data into a database. That is okay. Still, this is something better than nothing. But if you actually, if you do the capstone projects for this online courses, you will see that their project is, because they teach you only 15% and rest 80% or 75%, 85% they will ask you to learn on your own. This is the way when you do that project. So you are going to gain a lot more knowledge on it. So it basically depends on the stuff that you build, how much knowledgeable you are on that, and how it should not be very standard run of the mill type of project. So that will make the difference. Anything else?
Just out of, I was just wondering, like you just mentioned about the switching of the companies a few minutes back. How exactly that works? Like being in the industry.
See, in IT, if you are a good talker, you can switch very easily. Because I told you, like IT industry requirements are not very stringent. Like like all this switching part I learned from a guy. Like what he used to do was whenever some new technology is coming to say Hadoop or something, he used to make a project out of it, run on his own. And then he used to get multiple offers because nobody at that point of time knows it. So like if you are planning on switching your career, then either you become very good at what you are doing and which has a lot of demand. Like mobility has a lot of demand right now, but not sure like how far to learn. So then you will get a lot of offers to switch, or you learn something like Hadoop, you learn something big, something new that has come, and then you will get a lot of offers. So these are the two ways you can do. So basically for switching, you have to be in a very high growth vertical. So if you have a high growth vertical, you will always be in demand. So then they want experienced professional in that type of sector. But if you say Java domain normally, see, like J2E is a very stable growth. So you might get a lot of offers, but you'll never get a good height. Means when you change around. Okay, so
offers are sent in the mail, like the normal.
yeah. Nowadays, previously they used to send hard copy. Now they can just send the mail. You want to try some switching part? No, it's good. Try everything.
You mentioned that the whole hike in your salary was basically because of
yes,
switching.
that is true. Obviously, see, in Calcutta, we have very depressed salary. Like compared to Bangalore and stuff, the salary is much depressed if you just take in one company. If you change a bit, that is okay, good. But I would not advise you because that is not a really long-term strategy. Like just switching. I have been through this, so I am telling you that my friend he changed 5 times, I changed 4 times. So he's now telling me why aap ko Java he went on all the IT companies in Calcutta. Now he's even going for the second round. So we probably say IT again. Now he again went back. So either you go to Bangalore if you are really keen on switching, then Bangalore is a good way. But Calcutta is not good for really switching around. Any other queries? Yes.
Strictly talking about the development sector, is it good to know more than one languages?
See,
and or know one language very well?
It is always preferred to know one language very well compared to knowing multiple languages in an ad hoc manner. So if you know one language very well, you can pick and choose the language. So right now Python is much more easier to learn also and much more popular compared to other languages. So you can choose Python and develop. But best thing would be to learn the algorithms and then implement it in 2 languages. So that will get you much ahead. Because you can implement the same thing too and you will learn the nuances of that language. How this thing is happening in one language and how this is happening. But if you don't have time, focus on one language and know the data structure algorithm will take you much further than any framework or language can. That you should just impress on you. And if you have data structure and knowledge, and now this site called Geek, just go and register there and do their competitions. So you will see how things are moving and you will get the sense yourself, like what they are asking. So in India, what we do, we are not really trained for anything. We just go to the exam and interview. We don't prepare, but in other countries, people are actively training. So you know that common sense is not common for is often heard this thing. So we want to reduce the common sense. You be so prepared that when you are going to interview, you don't have to think on your feet at that point of time. There will be something you can relate to which you have already done. So that will always fetch you, means you can clear the interview with that type of answer. If you know, because they are not going to ask the word, they are going to ask a very small subset of the things that they require. So you should be good in that basic stuff. That's it. Okay, and who is maintaining the Geekonix site here? What about the Geek Alumni? I want to know some things from you guys.
Actually, the person concerned who is maintaining the website is not here, but the CEO brain head is currently here. He can.
Who is the head? Okay. He is sitting right in the back.
He can brief you a bit about that.
So what you guys are doing now on the side?
Last time it was very nice. They put in a canvas type thing and then animations over that. We'll try to do an SDG and then connect the components and do something. It's like there will be a tree-like thing and different events will be placed on the different branches of the tree, and then it will come up and all, and the rest of all the rules and etc. will be.
This is mostly about edge. What I'm thinking by as a general, edge is one of the, you can say, implementation of your dreams or design, whatever you are
The
doing.
Geekonix site is being renewed, what we saw, there were not much registrations, etc. So we have renewed that site and put proper registration, login, etc. Upcoming events, details about what the events are, and what are the different things that you can be you can work in different fields. So what fields you want.
Did you guys advertise about this one in your site?
This one, actually the site is not up yet.
Okay,
Yeah, no, the previous site is up,
Okay.
but we have to buy a new hosting and.
Okay. So like what my suggestion is that like we came and you can have an alumni small page for alumni. Okay, like you can have some introduction and what we are actually trying to make is a forum in the, because we can make for our own, but that will be for us. So that we want something that has to do with you guys. So what we are, just a suggestion of myself, we are not forcing anything. But if you can come up with a forum where you can register and you can have a communication like day-to-day basis. A lot of people have gone to US from our batches and subsequent batches. So like you guys join with Geekonix and all these things to assess your proposal and all this profile and all this. So you can even ask these people who have gone abroad. So you can get a lot of things from there. So it's my suggestion that you open a small portal for alumni, just as part of Geekonix Alumni, and maybe have a forum where we have a forum for
A discussion forum.
yes.
And we can also link the forum that you have on the subdomain also.
No, we had a forum, but due to non-participation between us, okay, and a lot of people are not there in that, we regularly send mails, but we had very little feedback from you guys, okay, so we kind of lost a bit of enthusiasm there at that point of time, so we kind of we shut it down. Our GX side, we shut it down because we could see no any feedback or any reaction from you guys. So that is why the thing was that, okay, leave the online part rest and let's meet in person so that we have a much more better communication. But going forward, we cannot always be there here. So that will actually facilitate it and it will be very beneficial for us in the learning. We can learn what is happening with you guys, you can learn from us. So it's a mutual learning thing.
Put a discussion forum and.
Just send us a mail with the Geekonix Alumni that he has all the details. So put up that and we'll register it. So that will be good.
Actually, the website is entitled to be released in the mid of January. The time it is being released for the past 3 years. We are also looking forward for one more detail to be added this year. Apart from the main Edge website, we are also reliving the Geekonix website, which was inactive for the past few years. That would be started, and we are hoping to launch the microsites for each of the events too. Each of the event heads will be provided a particular space. They have to develop the website of their own or get it developed, the microsite for their event, and that could be hosted on the same Geekonix Association. Like somewhere around January, we are hoping that the whole things could be wrapped up and the whole promotions can be started.
And what about the robotics scene now? Robotics is one more hot field. You guys talked about hardware. So hardware is very big on robotics. So that is one sector in hardware which is growing a lot. So even see in these type of IT companies now they are starting a automation robotics. So like they had 30-40 freshers in Pune this time and now they are going to automation and robotics. So robotics now when something is happening in IT, then you can be sure that this thing is really big now. Because these IT guys will never invest in anything unless they can see there is some return. They will not research. They will only invest to earn money. So these guys are now investing heavily in automation and robotics. Now almost every IT services company has one sector for automation and robotics. Wipro is going big on automation and robotics. Like they are hiring embedded guys, C guys and all these things right now. So they are going big on automation and everything. So automation and robotics part is also very important. So this is something which you are naturally good at. I heard a lot of people have won a lot of awards over the years. So this is something you can showcase and something you can build a culture on. So like what's the condition right now? Like it's very good or qualification? What is it?
Actually, in robotics, we are like what people are using. Like in past few years, they were using an adapter. Now they are using coming with a battery eliminator or even a better power source. So what we used to do, like rather than wasting money on some other type of power sources, wasting money on other types of motors, we are coming with we are telling the juniors to come up with like the new ideas and to be innovative. Like past few years, like the robotics have improved or other type of weapons. So we are
planning to give a portal, that, as he said, a microsite to every event. And that side, we are planning to have a blog from the alums, from the people who have done good in robotics, mainly for that microsite. There are many teams, Mean Machine, Mark Elash, there are Venom, there are many teams. We are talking with them. They are cooperating with us. Yeah, they are cooperating with us. They are telling that we will be answering everything. Not only you all, but we are also available. Maybe not 24/7, but बीच में हम लोग आएंगे. अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम होगा तो हम लोग आंसर देंगे. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है और हम लोग अपना स्टोरीज भी शेयर करेंगे. We are planning for that, and this year we are planning to have 2 workshops. One in this semester, another in the January. For the January, we are not yet finalized what we are going to do, but we are trying to do something which is industry based, which is training based. There were some companies, there is a NASCOM, they are having an INV, there is a company. They are telling that we want people, we want interns, and we will do workshops and we will take interns. And we are trying to go for that, as he said, this year TCS has gone down. The other companies are coming, but then also the job is declining. So not only workshops via RRC, via robotics and via EASE, we are also planning to give a platform for the students, at least do an internship, at least do that.
And basically what we are like, we taught like the digital robot, how to make a digital bot. Then we are now teaching microcontroller, and after that we are like the other companies or other organizations which used to come and give the seminar. They are like they give the seminar and they are gone. But we will be here. So we will teach them other things like gesture control bots and all, and it's for free. Like they can come, they can learn. Just the component will charge.
Basically, there is just one thing I would like to add. Like apart from this thing, this thing is not just restricted to robotics. What the idea behind it is, we go to other vendors, they take the charge, they provide a kit. The kit is of course of the least possible quality, which cannot be used any further in the future. They go for their own profit too. The quality of the teaching and the faculty who attend the workshop, they are not that well experienced in most of the cases. What we are, this is basically a gamble, this workshop. We are hoping that if this idea works on, we are successful in conducting a workshop, keeping our profits marginal, providing maximum value. The kit will be of the highest quality. If this thing works on, we are hoping to conduct several similar workshops for CO bank. That means for the computing part. We also had a talk with the civil engineering department. Last year we started a new event, bridge designing, for the civil engineering students. We are including one more event this year. So we can conduct workshops related to that. And the same trend will go on, like started by you and all the other alumni. Like first of all, we'll concentrate on the free workshops where we'll give them the basic knowledge. And when the professional knowledge is required, we'll go for the paid workshops. If we'll go for the vendors only if the in-house
It's not up to them.
in-house not up to the mark.
What happens is that after every age we see mails coming from IIT Kharagpur, this workshop, this. So what our idea is ki why not Techno India?
Yes.
Why not Techno India and Geekonix can do
the
this?
students, the people who are coming in terms of IIT Kharagpur, IIT Kanpur, they are also students.
Right.
They are nothing else.
They're doing in their
They are
colleges,
also
they're doing sir. Why not our college students can do the same thing?
Like if Kshitiz is conducting a workshop, the next year you can definitely say, okay, I'm going to attend the Geekonix workshop. That is the idea. Like we need to step into the market and we need to provide the maximum quality and value for money, basically.
Okay guys, so how did you feel about today's workshop? Good? So we like to have more such workshops in the future. So let us start the digital communication. So like now she is actually there, UI, UX. So all the artists here, if you are really interested in that.
You should start introducing
Yeah. And
introduce yourself.
you guys, you are late again.
Okay, I am Ronak. Not most of us, most of you, but a few of you know me. I passed out in 2013. I was from EI branch. That's it. No, not much. I'm very sorry for being so late. But as he was talking about IT industry, this is the perks of working in IT industry.
Yes.
I was working from home, and once you are working from home, you have no timings. You have to work until your boss says, okay, you can go now. So I'm really sorry for being late for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the session, and we hope to have much more sessions. We also wanted to introduce one more concept, like we want to ask you guys on what topics do you want the session from us. So maybe if you guys have any idea one particular topic where you have a lot of many questions, then you can maybe give it to these guys who are having Geekonix right now, and they can pass it on to us. That these are the topics where we need help from the alumni, and we can anyway arrange a session for that. So that is one part I would like to say. And apart from that, Sianda is obviously awesome. Take maximum from him. He is there for next half an hour. If you have any questions apart from the session also, please go on and ask him. He'll be very happy to do it. Thank you.
We had so like we have alumni like Ravimba, some of you might have heard about it. He's doing really good work in Mozilla.
Soon we are going to have sample of this.
Yeah. On this project, like there's one commerce guy, a friend of mine, his brother. So he's a commerce guy, but he was very interested in testing. So he used to test Mozilla's Firefox browser out of his own, okay. And then he joined this bug testing community. So you know what happened? After a few months, Mozilla gave him one MacBook and one laptop and then one Windows machine, and then paid for an all-paid trip to US. And he went there, and he followed the seminars and talk shows and stuff, and then he came back. And every now and then he still is doing the testing, and he's actually getting a lot of, not direct monetary benefits, but a lot of other things there. So he's getting a lot of good help. So people like Ravimba, they are working on this, and you guys just, he is now working on natural language processing and VR, virtual reality, which is supposed to be the next big thing now. So he is looking for people to test his work that he has done. So all these things you can gain a lot of knowledge. It will immediately make you stand out from your peers. So I think we had a long lecture. I hope you guys enjoyed. So we'll close for today.